Hey, come on in. Have a seat. Oh, yeah, thanks. Welcome to Outside the Box Records. So you're a pianist? Beg your pardon? A pianist. Oh, yeah, I play piano, but this new album has more than just piano in it. I've been trying to expand my horizons a bit. Intriguing. Since you seem to like unique projects, I thought this might be a good fit. You know, I like some of the stuff you put out. Yeah, so, how many TikTok followers do you have? Not that many. Actually, I've just been pretty focused on making the album, you know, writing, recording, hiring session players, producing, making the cover art, that kind of thing. None of that matters. Sorry, what? Well, you see, literally no one cares, and you should really be focused on posting 10 to 12 times per day. Maybe if you made a video of you playing your songs on a grapefruit, or an orange, banana, but no grapes. That's oddly specific fruit-wise. Impossible to go viral with grapes, we found through research. I thought you were supposed to be in charge of the marketing. Well, yeah, of course we are. I mean, that's why we'll be taking 50% of the writer's share and all of the publishing. Whoa, what? But I still have to make my own promotional content? I mean, what are you going to be doing? Well, we like to make these square posts for Instagram of the cover art, and then we'll have one of the tracks playing underneath it, and, well, we'll check this out. Is that your logo moving just enough that I can tell it's a video? It is. But this seems like a lot less work than what you wanted me to do. Well, we only have like 450 followers on Instagram, so what's the point, really, you know? One more thing, we'll send it to a couple contacts we have at Spotify, you know, maybe see if we can get you some playlist placements. Well, I guess that's something. One thing about that, though, how easy is your album to ignore? Oh, God. Like, for instance, let's say I was doing the dishes or sleeping. Would I even be aware that this album was happening to me? Yeah, you probably would. Oh, sorry, can't help you. You know, just doesn't fit with our artistic vision. Have a nice day. Oh, what a loser. Back in 2020, I recorded an album that was kind of experimental, and I was really proud of this album, but having had a little bit of experience in the playlisting world, I knew that it just wasn't going to playlist well on the streaming services. And I was really dreading the promotional process of releasing the album, so I put it off, and put it off, and put it off, and eventually thought, I need to just send this to some labels so I don't have to fool with promoting it. There's this list of things that everyone tells you you should be doing. Apparently today is the day of the air quote, and they include annoying all your friends who have Spotify playlists, begging music bloggers to even open your emails, spamming strangers who don't even know that you exist, much less that you make music. Oh yeah, and have you heard of TikTok? So to circumvent all of that, I thought, well, I know a lot of really good boutique labels in my particular genre, my particular corner of the music world, and I'll pitch it to them and see if they want to help me out with some of that. Offloading the marketing legwork, as it were. There were just a couple problems with this line of thought. You see, even the smallest labels today are really primarily interested in playlistability, and that means they need to be releasing a lot of tracks because not every track is going to get playlisted. It also means that they're going to have to conform to what playlists are looking for. This makes total sense financially for them, makes total sense for an artist financially. I just don't think it's a good thing for music. Now, there are very few smaller labels that are offering an advance of any kind anymore, and even if they do, the costs that you end up paying back to them are often unspecified. In other words, they can put marketing, $5,000, and then you don't really know what they did that was worth your $5,000 that you'll then be paying back in perpetuity until they deem that it is paid back. If you've tried to make a living off of streams, you know that that's a lot of streams, and if you don't get playlisted, you're probably not going to make that back. So even if you do get a label, even a small label, to accept your music, you have to ask yourself, what am I getting in return for this partnership, and what am I giving up? And is that trade-off worth it? There are essentially 5 things that you need to release music today, all of which you can do yourself. You need a studio, or a place to actually make said music. Now, this has become so affordable today that the ceiling has come down so low that anyone in their bedroom can make a decent sounding record if they know how to use the tools at their disposal. There's more affordable gear than ever, and you can do so much with just a laptop in your bedroom studio if you hone your craft and actually learn how to make good music with it. And that is the part that a lot of people would like to skip. You need good cover art. If you don't want to take the time to learn a little bit about how to use Photoshop or some sort of digital art program like Touch Designer to create your own digital artwork, then there are tons of independent artists just like you, except they're in the visual arts, who would be happy to help you out for a small fee. Do a quick search on Instagram and see if you can hook up with someone there. And while I think it's really a good thing to work with actual human artists, still AI-generated art is becoming more and more of a thing that is viable if you just absolutely have no budget at all. Again, try to work with people because people need money to eat stuff and AI doesn't. Mixing and mastering. Again, with the time and with the patience, you can learn to do these things yourself. It is sometimes nice to have a second set of ears, whether that be a mix engineer or a mastering engineer, which can be really beneficial, just to check your mix and make sure there are no major issues that you may have missed in all the hours that you've spent getting your ears used to hearing those mistakes. If you can't afford a mastering engineer, hire a friend for a couple of hours just to listen to your mixes and give you good, legitimate feedback. Or you can help them out by doing the same for them if they are also artists who have their own music that they would like for you to check out. Distribution. This video is sponsored by no one. So I'm not going to tell you to go to DistroKid or wherever people tell you to go. However, it is worth pointing out that there are several companies like that. DistroKid, CD Baby, TuneCore. Some of them are a little bit too expensive for my taste, but I'll let you work that out on your own. And all of these places will get your music out into the world. You don't have to be a label. You don't have to know anyone. You can just release it yourself onto all of the platforms that you could possibly want. And number 5, finally, the most difficult and trickiest thing, you need an audience. This is tough. On the internet, it's really hard to get anyone to care about what you're doing because there is so much out there. But here's the dirty little secret. Besides having some playlist connections and potentially some music licensing advantages, which that could be a big deal if it's important to you, labels are not doing a damn thing that you can't do yourself. In fact, you're probably going to do them better than the label will, because the label cares about volume, or the number of releases they can crank out, and you care about your work. In fact, funny enough, the labels actually would much prefer that you already have a large audience of people who care about you before you even get to them, so that they can then leech off of your audience to make money for themselves. Which again leads us to the question, what is the point? Now, with very few exceptions, music blogs are dying. And there are only a few of them that I even send my music to anymore because I know the people, I know they actually care about music. And beyond that, I don't care. People go directly to the artist now. So again, I think the only legitimate reason to go with a label is if they have good connections within the industry. Personally, I think a good strong relationship with someone in sync licensing would go a long way, and some labels do have those connections. Now, I don't hate all labels. In fact, I do work with some boutique labels on a single or, a compilation or some sort of collaborative effort, because I do think that there are some labels that genuinely still care about art out there. But far too many have been bitten by the playlist bug, and now it's become quite clear because they will just tell you that if it doesn't playlist well, they're going to pass on it. And good. They should, because you really don't need them. So the big question comes down to, why would you give up the freedom that you have both artistically with your music choices and financially with the fact that you get all of the royalties? Are labels still doing enough to make them worth existing? That's a question you're going to have to answer for yourself. It depends on the label, and it depends on you and how you feel about it. But for me, the answer was a resounding no. What? Oh, yeah, I was supposed to tell you that if you want to listen to my album, it's down in the description below.